भूतकल्पनाजाल गम्भीरोदारमूर्तये नमः समन्तभद्राय समन्तस्फुरणत्विषे प्रसीद भगवन् विलोकय मनः जडं जनमिमं त्वदेकशरणम्. I think we can start by reading, as usual. What we will do maybe, since now we have more verses, we'll just read once. And like I can read and you can repeat. So I will read each quarter of the verse and then you repeat. And we do it for the verses that we did until now. So, Om Namo Buddhaya Sugatan Sasutan Sadharmakayan. Yes. So, yeah, so I say one quarter and then you repeat. Sugatan Sasutan Sadharmakayan Pranipatya Darato Khilanscha Vandyan Sugatatmaja Samvaravataram Katayishyami Yathagamam Samasat Nahi Kimchidapurvamatra Vachyam Nacha Sangrantana Kaushalam Mamasti Ataeva Name Parartha Chinta Swamano Bhasayitum Krutam Mayedam Mamata Vadanena Yati Vruddhim Kushalam Bhavayitum Prasada Vegaha Athamat Samadhatureva Pashyed Aparopyena Matopi Sarthakoyam Kshana Sampadiyam Sudurlabha Pratilabdha Purushartha Sadhani Yadinatra Vichintyate Hitam Punarapyesha Samagamah Kutaha Ratrau Yatha Megha Ghanandhakare Vidyukshanam Darshayati Prakasham Buddhanubhavena Tatha Kadachil Lokasya Punyeshu Matih Kshanam Syat Tasmat Shubham Durbalameva Nityam Balam tu papasya mahat sughoram Tajjiyate nyena shubhena kena Sambodhicittam yadinama nasyat Kalpan analpan pravichintayadbhir Drishtam munindrairhitameta Yata sukheneva sukham pravruddham Utplavayati apramitan janaughan Bhavadukkha-shatani tartu kameir. Api sattva-vyasanani hartu kameihi. Bahusaukhya-shatani bhoktu kameir. Na vimochyam hi sadeva bodhicittam. Bhavacharaka bandhano varakaha. Sugatanam suta uchyate kshanena. Sanaramara loka vandaniyo. Bhavati smodita eva bodhicitte. Ashuji pratimam imam grihitva. Jinaratna pratimam karoti anargham. Rasajatam-ativa vedhaniyam. Sudradham grannata bodhicitta samyam. Suparikshitam aprameya dhibhir. Bahumulyam jagadeka sartavahehi. Gatipattana vipravasa shilaha. Sudradham grannata bodhicitta ratnam. Kadaliva phalam vihaya yati. Kshayamanyat kushalam hi sarvameva. Satatam phalati kshayam nayati. Prasavatyeva tu bodhicitta vrikshaha. I think this is where we stopped. So once again, I will start by offering a very brief summary of what we read so far, just very briefly. The first verse is the Mangala Charana. It's the auspicious beginning, and it's a prostration to the three jewels, to all worthy of reverence, to accumulate merit and to follow the manners of learned people. And then there is an indication of the subject matter. The subject matter is how to engage in the practices of the bodhisattvas. This is going to be explained in accordance with the teachings of the Buddha, so according to the scriptural tradition, the textual tradition, and in brief. So this is our first verse. Then Arya Shantideva points out that there is really nothing new to be said, nor does he have any skills in saying things in a particularly beautiful way. And for these two reasons, he doesn't think that, or rather, he doesn't speculate that this is going to be of benefit to other people. Nevertheless, he has composed this for the sake of influencing his own mind. And the next verse explains how that happens, which is by composing this, first of all, the force of my resolve or my disposition towards cultivating what is wholesome is going to increase. But moreover, if by any chance there is somebody else who has a similar inner quality or inner nature as myself, and if that person sees this book, that also makes it meaningful. It gives it purpose. Then we have a verse which is an introduction to actually taking up the practices of a Bodhisattva, and this verse points out that the situation to actually practice Vedharma in general and develop Bodhicitta in particular are very rare to obtain. And if we don't reflect on the benefit that is there when we have that kind of situation, and we don't act accordingly, which means we don't practice Vedharma and develop Bodhicitta, then we should not expect that this occasion will come about again very easily. So this verse is kind of a warning that it's not very easy to obtain the kind of situation where one has a favorable birth and all the other conditions to actually practice Vedharma. Next, there is an example, the example of a very dark night where there are many clouds, so we can't see anything, and the night is very long. But there is for a very brief moment, we can see everything, thanks to a flash of lightning. This is an example which is meant to explain how our mind usually is not inclined towards what is meritorious, and it is so only thanks to the positive influence of the Buddhas. And the next verse takes this point further by pointing out that, therefore, virtue is always weak, in the sense that it's always for a brief moment that we turn to virtue, and we have accumulated a lot of non-virtue throughout samsara. Therefore, non-virtue has great strength, and that strength is very terrifying because it gives birth to such things as the sufferings of the hells. And we should reflect that we cannot easily overcome the force of our own past negative acts if we don't develop Bodhicitta. And this indicates that Bodhicitta is infinite merit. So this is one point that is implicitly indicated by this verse. Then it is pointed out that the Buddhas, reflecting for many eons, so for extremely long periods of time, have found that only this is of merit. Only this is a genuine benefit. It's genuine benefit from which happiness, increased by happiness alone, can rescue infinite masses of beings. And here we discuss briefly what is meant by from happiness to happiness. So in what sense the Bodhisattva path is a happy path. So although it includes many difficult modes of conduct and practice, it is done gradually, and for those people who develop this altruistic intention, all those difficulties actually become increasingly just causes of happiness. So it's a very happy path. Then he mentions three possible wishes that people might have. They might wish for liberation, to cross all the suffering of samsara, just like Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas. They might wish to remove the sufferings of sentient beings, just like Bodhisattvas. Or they might just have the more simple wish to enjoy happiness within samsara. Whichever wish we might have, whether just one or all the three, we should never abandon Bodhicitta, because Bodhicitta is what makes all this possible, for the same reason that it is great merit. Bodhicitta is great merit. It's infinite merit. And all these results depend on merit. Next, as an encouragement, it shows that now this pointed to a result which we obtain in the long term, right? This verse is pointing out what kind of result we get in the long term, like let's say in the next life and many lives to come. But now he points out an instantaneous result. The instantaneous result is that the moment we give rise to bodhicitta, in that very instant, we shift from being just a wretched person who is bound in the prison of samsara by the mental defilements to being a son or daughter of the Buddhas, worthy of being worshipped by not just human beings but also deities. So our situation changes instantaneously the very moment we develop bodhicitta. So bodhicitta has a strong, immediate, transformative effect. Just one moment of sincere wish to obtain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings changes everything. Now there's another example about the transformative power of bodhicitta, where it is compared to a kind of a philosopher's stone or almost magical potion, just like we can have some very magical substance that if it comes into contact with base metal turns it into gold. So also what bodhicitta can do is to take up this impure frame, meaning our body with all its impurity, which is sustained by impurity, etc., and turn it into a Buddha. It's thanks to bodhicitta that ordinary beings can become Buddhas. So bodhicitta transforms our situation completely. Now we have an ordinary sharira, an ordinary body, and thanks to bodhicitta we can achieve the three bodies of a Buddha, the Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya, and the Nirmanakaya, which are beneficial in all their aspects. Then it is pointed out that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, who are the only caravan leaders, the only guides of the world, have very carefully examined this bodhicitta, and they found that it is very valuable. So we are used to move in the towns, in the market towns of rebirth, like from one realm to another. And in all these places, we buy different experiences through our wealth of good and bad karma. And so we should understand that the most valuable thing, that the most valuable jewel is the jewel of bodhicitta. So this is the example of the experts on jewels. These were very important in ancient India. Even the kings would go and ask them to check, because the idea is that if one is wearing a perfect jewel, it will be beneficial. If one is wearing the right perfect jewel, it's going to be beneficial. If one wears a defective jewel, that will bring lots of problems. So there was this idea, and so people who check jewels and gems were held in high esteem. And in fact, Buddhist authors wrote about this. They wrote about the science of gemology. So this is one example about the value of bodhicitta. And then the last verse that we read is about how, compared to any other type of merit, the merit of bodhicitta, which here means the merit that we obtain by doing an act of merit and then dedicating it towards Buddhahood. So when we seal our positive activities in this way, through the bodhicitta of dedication, then that merit becomes like a drop of water in the ocean. It will last for much longer. And so, if you think of any other merit, when we produce positive karma, that karma, when the causes and conditions are there, is going to give a result, and then it's finished. That continuum, it's finished. So it's just like the plantain tree, which gives fruit once and then dies. But bodhicitta, so an act of merit accompanied by the proper dedication, is not like that. It's going to last until we obtain Buddhahood. So it's very important to do a perfect dedication so that we do not lose our merit, the merit that we accumulate. Okay, so this is the brief summary of what we did last time. Now maybe we can do the refuge and bodhicitta prayer and the 4 immeasurables which you have here. I think on page 4. So we have done a few times, so I think now we can try together. 3 times. Buddham cha dharmam cha ganottamam cha yavaddi bodhim sharanam prayami danadi krityaischa kritairmayebhir buddho bhaveyam jagato hitaya buddham cha dharmam cha ganottamam cha yavaddi bodhim sharanam prayami danadi krityaischa kritairmayebhir buddho bhaveyam jagato hitaya buddham cha dharmam cha ganottamam cha yavaddi bodhim sharanam prayami danadi krityaischa kritairmayebhir buddho bhaveyam jagato hitaya sattva sukhena samprayujyeran sattva dukkena viyujyeran sattva sukhena naviyujyeran sattva hitam labheran sattva sukhena samprayujyeran sattva dukkena viyujyeran sattva sukhena naviyujyeran sattva hitam labheran sattva sukhena samprayujyeran sattva dukkena viyujyeran sattva sukhena naviyujyeran sattva hitam labheran. So now we can start from verse 13 and we can recite it. First, we try just by repeating. Kratvapi papani sudarunani yadashrayad uttarati kshanena shurashrayeneva mahabhayani nashriyate tatkatham ajñasatvaihi kratvapi papani sudarunani yadashrayaduttarati kshanena shurashrayeneva mahabhayani Na shriyate tat kathamajña sattvaihi. So the overall meaning is that bodhicitta is something that resorting to which in just one instant, so the moment one develops the bodhicitta of aspiration, that very moment one crosses, so comes to safety, even if one has committed very terrible sins. So whichever terrible acts we might have done, whichever terrible karma we might have, whether it is the one that we remember from this lifetime or something from previous lifetimes, we cross all the danger associated with that in just one moment. Just like, let's say we are chased by terrible enemies, and we find a super strong person, here a hero, it's called a hero, and we go and take refuge in that hero, we ask for protection from that hero, and immediately we are safe. That happens in, our situation changes in one instant. This being the case, why do ignorant people not resort to bodhicitta? So people who do not have much wisdom, why don't they resort to bodhicitta? Meaning, if we reflect on our situation, we might have done very terrible things, maybe some which we don't remember, and they are very terrible because of their maturation, meaning that maybe when we do them, they don't look very terrible, but then they're going to give us terrible results, such as being born in the lower realms. So the point is, we can avoid experiencing those terrible results by developing bodhicitta. Therefore, sentient beings should develop bodhicitta. And this example that I gave of the hero and the enemies comes again from the Gandavyuha Sutra, it seems. So again, the commentator points out that even this example is not an independent example. Shantideva once again is relying on Agama. He told us, Yathagamam, and here it is. Always some connection to the Buddha's own words. So this is the overall meaning of this verse. I think again, this verse is not very, very difficult to understand conceptually, and there's not much more expansion in the commentary, so we can just read it once more. Kratvapi papani sudarunani. Maybe you can repeat this. Yadashrayaduttaratikshanena shurashrayeneva mahabhayani na shriyate tat kathamajña sattvaihi. Yuganta kalana lavan mahanti papani yan nirdahati kshanena yasyanu mitanu vacha maitreyanatha sudhanaya dhiman. Yuganta kalana lavan mahanti papani yan nirdahati kshanena yasyanu shamsana mitanu vacha maitreyanatha sudhanaya dhiman. So the general meaning is that, again, why do people do not resort to this, which can burn in just one instant very great sins, just like the fire at the end of a world cycle. So, what does this refer to? This example refers to what happens at the end of every world cycle. There's a great fire which comes from 7 suns, and this completely burns out the whole world sphere of desire. So there are the 3 spheres, Kama Dhatu, Rupa Dhatu, and Arupya Dhatu. So all the sphere of desire, the realm of desire, is burnt out up to the first dhyana. All of that is completely burnt out, even that not even the ashes remain. So this is the example. Bodhicitta is like that fire. In one moment, when we develop Bodhicitta, all these great sins, and the greatness here is like the greatness of Mount Meru. Mount Meru is the king of mountains, is the huge mountain at the end, at the center of our world sphere, and this mountain also is completely burnt so that even the ashes do not remain on that occasion. And these sins are like Mount Meru because they can give as their result the sufferings such as being born in the Maharaurava, the great howling hell. So there's several hells, they all have these names which refer to something which happens in those hells. In the Maharaurava, people are constantly howling due to the suffering that they have. All of that is immediately burnt by one moment of Bodhicitta, so just kshanena, one moment. And this is also coming from the Gandavyuha Sutra, which says that Bodhicitta is just like the fire at the end of an eon, because it's capable of burning away all the things that we have done wrong. Now, at this point, we should get a big question mark in our mind. And this is what we have in the commentary. So the commentator says, well, the Bhagavan, so the Buddha, is Krita Karma Avipranashavadi. Is somebody who said that when we have done a certain karma, when we have performed a certain karma, its result will not be lost. So that karma will not disappear. It will always follow us, like, etc., etc. So, how does this square with that idea? How do we put these two things together? This is the question in the commentary. The commentator gives us, I think, 3 different answers. He says, yeah, that's true. That's what the Buddha said. But the amount of merit that arises from Bodhicitta every moment is capable of filling up the whole of space. It's infinite. So each and every moment when we develop Bodhicitta, we give birth to an amount of merit which can fill the whole of space. Therefore, although this karma is not destroyed literally, this karma is just like if you take one very small quantity of salt and you throw it in the ocean. It doesn't really make the ocean much more salty. It doesn't really affect it. So it is overcome by an incredible antidote. and therefore it doesn't have the power to give rise to its result. So it's true that the karma is not destroyed, literally, but it is overcome by such an amazing amount of merit that no problem. And he also says that we can also understand, on the other hand, that when the Buddha said that the karma is not destroyed without experiencing it, so we can give a different, also a second answer, that that was actually spoken only for those who do not have the upaya of bodhicitta. So if we don't have the upaya of bodhicitta, then indeed that karma cannot be uprooted. But bodhicitta is the upaya to uproot all negative karma. Sorry. Upaya means method or means. So those people who do not have the method, the special method or the special means to uproot karma, for those people it is said that this karma is not going to be destroyed except by experiencing its result. But that was not said for those people who have this particular method. So we can also understand it in terms of different audiences. As you know, the Buddha teaches slightly different things for different audiences. And then he explains that when a bodhisattva thinks in this way, with wholeheartedly, that I am going to remove all sentient beings that are filling up the whole sky, I am going to rescue them from any kind of suffering, and I'm going to make them endowed with all possible happiness. When he thinks this, and furthermore, he discards all the non-virtue that he or she has performed in the past by the various methods of understanding that it has flaws and also not performing it again, etc., etc. These methods which are used during the confession of sin practice. Then, by the force of bodhicitta, what is the real existence of that sin anymore that one could bring about this kind of criticism? This is the second solution. So the first solution was, right, fine, that bad karma is still there, but we have such an antidote that it will not give birth to any bad result. That was the first answer. Second answer is, it actually can be destroyed if we have bodhicitta. That was spoken to people who do not have bodhicitta and who do not develop bodhicitta. So that means to Shravaka and Pratyeka Buddha practitioners. Third solution is that what is said here doesn't regard all types of karma, because there's different types of karma. Some karma have fixed maturation, some karmas have non-fixed maturation, and these only regard the karmas of non-fixed maturation, while the karmas of fixed maturation definitely sooner or later will be experienced. So these are the three answers to this possible doubt. It means there are different ideas about this. The extent to which bodhicitta actually is going to be an antidote to negative karma. How literally we want to take this idea. So, I don't have a very fixed opinion on this. You can come to your own conclusion according to which kind of abhidharma you prefer. But of course, when this chapter is presented, one of the purposes of this chapter is to show that Mahayana practice is not exactly contradictory to Shravaka teachings. It's rather a deeper understanding of those teachings. So it's a different distribution of what we consider to be ultimate teaching and provisional teaching. And therefore, the author, especially the author of the commentary, takes good care to show that if somebody brings up an objection from the perspective of non-Mahayana Vidharma, this objection can be easily responded to. So this is one purpose of this particular part. So this is quite important in the Mahayana tradition, because, of course, the Shravaka sutras are accepted by everyone. So the Mahayana teachings cannot be really contradictory to those. And it's important that Mahayana authors make it clear why the Mahayana teachings are authentic and why they are not actually a contradiction, but rather they are complementary, or they are a more profound understanding of the teachings. So this is the purpose of this whole discussion. The second half of the verse is, in a way, easier, because it just says that Maitreya Natha, the future Buddha, Maitreya, explained to Sudhana. So Sudhana is the student of many bodhisattvas in the Gandavyuha Sutra, the one I was mentioning. Even in the Borobudur, you find these images. And Maitreya explained, or rather spoke, lots of praises, limitless praises or limitless praiseworthy good qualities of Bodhicitta to Sudhana. And here part of that sutra is quoted by the commentator who says, who quotes, Bodhicitta, or son of noble family, meaning Sudhana, is the seed of all the Buddha's qualities. Bodhicitta is like a field where all the positive dharmas in the world can grow. Bodhicitta is like the earth, which is like a resort for all sentient beings. It's a support for all sentient beings. Bodhicitta is like a father, because it protects all the bodhisattvas. And it's like Vaishravana, the deity of wealth, because it cuts away all poverty. It's like the king of wish-fulfilling gems, because it brings about all possible purposes. It's like the fortunate pot. The fortunate pot, again, is something which fulfills our wishes, because it's going to fulfill all our wishes, and it's like a kind of power, because it is the power to have victory on the enemies, and the enemies are mental afflictions. So Bodhicitta can allow us to have victory against all our mental afflictions. So these are all the qualities of Bodhicitta which Maitreya explained to Sudhana. So even such an advanced bodhisattva like Maitreya, who's the next Buddha, explained all these great qualities of Bodhicitta to Sudhana. So once again, this is an encouragement to take up Bodhicitta by understanding its great good qualities. So that's the overall meaning of this verse. So maybe we can read it once more. And we can read it by repeating. It's okay. Yuganta kalana lavan mahanti. We can do by repeating. I think it's okay. Yuganta kalana lavan mahanti papani yan nirdahati kshanena yasyanushamsanamitaanuvacha maitreyanatha sudhanaya dhiman.